Hey friends, welcome back to OG Universe. Thank you so much for stopping by. And today we're continuing our look at the Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label Crisis on Infinite Earths. And up for review today is the Spectre. Now the Spectre is a character I'm not 100% familiar with. The only real exposure I got to the Spectre was, of course, through Crisis on Infinite Earths way back in '86 when I read the trade a little while ago, and it was a really powerful character. You can go toe to toe with the Anti-Monitor, which is pretty damn impressive because that is a powerhouse. That guy's like a walking infinity gauntlet. But what's really interesting about this character is the fact that he's kind of like the Spirt of Vengeance. That's what we called him in the comics, the Spirit of Vengeance, the divine wrath of God embodied and bonded to a human host. In this case, it's Jim Corrigan, a former detective, turned kind of like the wrath of God embodied into this character. He is an extremely powerful character. He can manipulate time and space, shapeshift. He has all sorts of physical attributes, extremely strong, powers of flight. And of course, he punishes the evildoers with vengeful wrath of God. So, damn, it's pretty impressive. Now, for the character itself, let's take a look at what we got in the package and what the package looks like to begin with. So we got that standard window box, big box, you know, made especially for those Build-A-Figure pieces. And then we got the artwork from George Perez, John the trading card, we got a display stand. On the back, we got the image of the monitor, who you're building. You got the pieces that go with who, where they go, across at the bottom as well. And then you do get the really nicely textured cape and pauldrons of the monitor. And we also get the head sculpt. The head sculpt is done extremely well. A lot of character and detail put into that head sculpt. But unfortunately, that's it. Now, we don't get any effect pieces. We don't get any extra hands. We don't even get a flight stand for a character that's kind of hovering, standing above the people who he's judging. Unfortunately, nothing. But that is an easy fix. So what I did here to give him a little bit of oomph and some extra effect kind of power, so to speak, is we just took some pieces from one of my speedsters. In this case, it was Impulse. Gave him a flight stand, and, you know, he's powered up, ready to go. I really like the fact that you can do this. Just mix and match. It's your collection. If he becomes bare-boned, add some accessories from another figure, and you can really empower and improve the look of this figure. But you shouldn't really have to do that with a $40 American price tag. It's pretty damn expensive for a bare bones figure. So some effect pieces would have been greatly appreciated. Now, let's just take some of these pieces off here. I really like the way these ones work on his hands. They look fantastic. So let's take those off. And let's even take them off the flight stand as well. So let's take a look at some of the details on this figure. I think the figure has some really good attributes. The head sculpt is really well done. It definitely has that piercing kind of like, man, you're done. We're gonna wreck you. Very cool. But unfortunately, the head doesn't move with the hood. It's independent. So, like as we saw in the Azrael figure from the White Knight Batman lineup, the hood and the head move together. That was awesome because you can get all sorts of articulation and poses. When you move his head, that's what happens. That's unfortunate. Kind of missed the ball. You guys, Mcfarlane does have the technology, so to speak, to do things like that. And they kind of missed the ball and not executing it properly. But the figure overall does look really good. Has a lot of great detail. For a bare bones figure as well. One thing I really like is these hands. The way they have these little cuffs at the end, so it looks like it's a glove. That's what they should have done with the first appearance Batman. I think this would improve the overall quality of that figure and really just make the hands look so much better. Just having that raised little cuff would have been great. The detail on the cape is really nice. This cape actually was kind of a beast to get out of the package. There's a lot going on here. But I think if we're gonna go bare bones, a wired cloth cape on this guy would have been spectacular. Just to see that sprawled out, really intimidating, coming down at you, that would have been awesome. Now the cape does have this kind of a star-crossed pattern, so to speak, to show his divine powers, I guess. But, I've heard a lot of people complain about it, how they hate it. But you know what? It's kind of hidden. It's not really out there. It doesn't spread over the entire cape. And it's just kind of there enough that, hey, what's that? It's kind of cool. It's not overpowering. Still looks good in my opinion. And then the shorts. The shorts are really textured. They have a lot of stretched out material. Really show all the fabric wrinkles as well as the cape here as well, and the collar. His little booties. Yeah, he's got those classic little booties, which are really nice. Again, then really subtle texturing in the little embellishments here. They look fantastic. These pixie boots look really cool. And then the body. Now, the body has like an overall texture in its legs especially. It kind of feels marbleized, but isn't. It looks like marble. Like, not like marbleized plastic that we see on some Iron Man figures from Marvel Legends, but like marble. It has that kind of look to it. And it's really impressive the way they get all this texturing in the legs, but it's so subtle and it's so unnoticeable. But when you feel it, yeah, it's got some raised texture on it. The arms are pretty smooth. Nothing else really going on up there, but it's a very interesting proportion-wise. He's a little short. It's a little disappointing that he's short, but he's a guy that can manipulate his size. So, hey, he wants to be a kind of an average 5'10" maybe, or he can be, almost 50, 60 feet. So, very interesting attributes that this character has in the figure as well. So, let's take a look at some of the articulation that this body buck has. Now, this is a body buck that I believe, don't quote me, but it's pointed out by one of my viewers that it's the Martian Manhunter body buck. So I do have the Martian Manhunters. I have both from the gold label kind of classic look and the more new 52 look. I have not opened those guys up. They are packed away. I never got around to opening them. Wasn't too impressed with the head sculpts and the way the neck's set. Very low on the body buck. That's something we can fix nowadays. But yeah, I was pointed out because I was wondering, who is this body buck? It's a really nice, really powerful looking body buck. Very cool. I really do like this body buck quite a bit. But unfortunately, it does sit a little bit low. But let's go over some of the articulation that this figure has. So we talked about that head. It's a real shame that that hood wasn't affixed with that head, because you're not getting really any articulation. And when you put them off to the side, the hood doesn't flow with it, unfortunately. But I do like this head sculpt. Like, I think it's really cool how it's all black on the top part to kind of be a shadow, which he's always had. It's not like a pixie mask or anything like that. But yeah, it's disappointing about that neck. You have really nothing going on because the hood impedes all that articulation. You do have a spacer joint, so you do have quite a bit of movement in the arm area. Bicep cut, double jointed ratcheted elbows. You got the ball joints at the wrist, so you got full articulation there. Torso articulation. Let's take a look at that. You can go down, not too bad. You can go up, not too bad either. So you do have a pretty decent range. You got a ball joint, at the waist. Ball joints at the hips, double jointed ratcheted knees. The pixie boots, yeah, ball joint is completely covered up. That's pretty damn good. And then you have toe articulation, rocker pivot, everything else going on. So overall, it is a very impressive looking figure. Just needed to be maybe included with some accessories. That would definitely help. And of course, that hood issue that we're going on. Now I want to put him on a regular display stand. Let's see if he can get on there. He should. Oh yeah, he's on there nice and tight. So let's take a look at the Spectre and how he sizes up against some other heroes in the DC universe. So let's compare him with this guy here. So this is the Superman from the same wave. Massive height difference between these two guys. But man, I really love this Superman. This body buck is awesome. The wired cape is really impressive. I'm loving these wired capes, man. I think, like I said, this would have been so greatly improved with a cloth wired cape to really show his power and just make a real presence when he's coming down to strike vengeance upon the evildoers in the DC multiverse. So let's take a look at what else we got here. Now this guy, the Green Lantern. Now there was a platinum chase of this guy because for a small period of time, Hal Jordan was the new Spectre, and it has some Green Lantern motifs going on. Would really love to get that figure, but that's a damn impossible figure to get, and it's quite expensive already on the secondary market. But seeing these two guys together, It's pretty cool that, they shared the same body, I guess. He was the host of the Divine Wrath of Vengeance and God. So that's kind of cool to see that. But yeah, these two guys, unfortunately, a little bit taller. Would have been a taller version of the Spectre would have been appreciated. I'd expect him to be a bit taller for sure. And then we'll bring in another one of his sort of teammates here, and that's Alan Scott. Even Alan Scott towers over him. He's quite big. Now we're starting to build up our JSA, our classic JSA. I don't know if I want to put Spectre in there because he is such an overpowered character. I can't see him working with the JSA and the team. Hey, Spectre, we got an emergency down at City Hall. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe back in the 30s, but man, this Spectre is an omnipotent character that I don't know if he'll fit in. Maybe for some group shots just to build up a team and see what we could have. He'll be in that JSA for a little bit, I think. But I think he's pretty much a solo character in my opinion. And then we got this one here too. First appearance, Batman. Again, this is the year 2 body buck. He is definitely a bigger proportion Batman. Such an awesome figure, guys. Check out my review. You see the full thoughts on this figure, but man, it's a game changer for me. I absolutely adore this figure. It is so damn good. That wired cape, man. Wired cloth cape. Way of the future. Yes. And then I'll bring in this other guy here. Because you know what? I love Firestorm. I think the contrast between these two guys as well is really good. The color scheme, you got these bright primary colors going on and this white and green, just starkness about him. He is really imposing. Really cool to see these two guys together. And then we'll bring in one final guy that's part of the wave here, and that is Kid Flash. So Kid Flash is a smaller, well, not really a smaller body buck, but height-wise, again, that's the biggest complaint you're going to have about this guy. The hood, maybe a cloth guard cape, sits a little short. But overall, I think this figure is really impressive. He is selling out pretty damn quick in my area. A couple GameStops I went to did have a few extra. I went back a couple days later because I thought, man, maybe I'm going to get one and do some customization on it. But they're gone. So missed my opportunity. But I'm kind of okay because I think this is I don't think we'll see a lot of Spectre figures in the Mcfarlane line. It's a one-off. Very grateful to have it in the collection. I'm very happy. But I don't think we're going to get a lot of variations on this guy. The Platinum Chase, amazing if you can get it. But I think this guy has a standoff figure, a standalone figure. He's very bare bones. You're going to definitely have to add some effect pieces. I think that really helps support him. A flight stand as well. But overall, if you have him on a flight stand with some other figures, I think he'll blend in a little bit better in that size. I don't think it's going to really hurt him that much. So there you go, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. We're going to finish this wave off with Psycho Pirate, and then we'll take a look at the Monitor. Can't wait to build that guy up. But stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.